Good morning, everyone.
Hello,
Hello.
support group land.
Hi, how are you, David? Hi, everybody. Good morning. Happy Monday. Hi, Kelly. How's everyone doing today? I hope everyone's staying safe and healthy out there
And warm?
and warm and, yeah, depending on where you are in the country. Lots of crazy weather. It's a little warmer here in Santa Fe recently, so that's been nice to be outside and not too cold. But not the 2 feet of snow like people have had on the East Coast. Goodness. Goodness. All righty. Well, nice to see your faces this morning. Um, Lots of familiar folks, and I think I might even see a few new people. So, for those of you who are new, welcome. My name is Shannon Elliott, and I am the manager of our InSync network, which is a program for support group leaders across the country. And I have my colleague Rachel with me today, and so we're just very happy to welcome you to our roundtable for the month of February. Um, and as people are still kind of coming into our room here, I'd like to take a moment to rename ourselves. So this is a function most of you probably know how to do here on Zoom, but it's a good thing to know. So if you take your mouse and you scroll, this is on a computer or laptop, I should mention. If you scroll over your own image, you're going to see an ellipsis menu pop up in the right-hand corner. If you click on that, a little drop-down menu shows up, and then you're going to see an option to rename. And what you can do is put your first name and then the city in which you live. So we can start to see where everyone is calling in from. So let's go ahead and take a moment to do that. Thank you, Irene in Sacramento. Freddie, hi there. She's up in Colorado. Fill in the blanks. I love it. I need a little laugh, a little chuckle on a Monday morning. Thank you for that. Good, good. Okay. All righty. So if you are just coming in, I was just hoping that you could put your first name and the city from which you're calling in from today, renaming yourself. That would be fantastic. All right, everybody. So I am going to start our roundtable by sharing a PowerPoint with you so we can all start off on the page. So I am going to begin my PowerPoint sharing. Okay, so Rachel, can you just confirm that you can set?
Yep.
Okay, so thank you for coming this morning. Really that we can gather for our virtual roundtable for the month of February. So this is a support group for support group leaders is what we call it. It's really beneficial, we think, to a place where you all can share your experiences and your concerns and hopes with one another because you really are the experts. And so I love to have this capability for you to share with one another. We're going to be starting our roundtable today with taking a poll. So it's a kind of a hot topic that I'd like to get your perspectives on as support group leaders, how it's affecting you and your group members. And then after we do the poll, we are going to utilize the breakout room function or feature within Zoom. So that's a way for us to get into small groups and we can talk with one another. Everyone can share their ideas, and then we can come back from our breakout rooms to the main room and then once again share with the group so that we can benefit from everyone's expertise and insights. So that is our plan for the day. Okay, so I like to use this slide to start off all of our roundtables, and then you as support group leaders, you can also utilize this idea if you have online meetings and you're running breakout rooms, something like that. It's just a quick reminder for how we would like to interact with one another during our roundtables. So it's just like kind of pointing out the expectations as we participate in this roundtable, and it's just like how we want to interact and make the session as productive and respectful as possible. So first of all, this is mute your mic. So everyone is starting off really good with that. It's actually super quiet this morning. So to avoid any background noise and distraction, just mute your mic when necessary. But what we love about the roundtable is that you're welcome to unmute yourself and just let us know when you have something to contribute. So obviously getting into small groups and sharing, listening intently is very important. And then building on that, so the yes and idea is like hearing what someone says, and maybe you might have a different idea, but saying, yes, I hear you. And this could be another way to look at it or to build on that idea that someone else has. Just a reminder to keep an eye on the time when we're in our breakout rooms. We have a good chunk of time. I think we'll have about 15 minutes to share with one another, but just to be very cognizant of allowing everyone time to share. And then last but not least is being patient with technology because things do happen. So knock on wood, nothing crazy happens. You get knocked out of the Zoom room. If so, just log right back in and we can get going again. Okay, so I'd also like to mention now, in case you need to go find it, if you want to have pen and paper with you, if you want to take notes as we go along, when we go into our breakout rooms, I would love each breakout room to have a leader, and then that person's going to need to take notes. So you can think about having that with you as a tool. All right, so I mentioned that I'd like to start with a poll. So this is really fun for getting everybody to participate and to hear people's perspectives on any given topic. So for today, I am interested to hear your insights, your experiences on the vaccination program that's rolling out. So the few support groups that I'm involved with on a weekly basis, that has been a very hot topic for us. So I'm wondering with your groups, is this coming up a lot? Are there lots of questions still? Is there a lot of ambiguity? You know, what's going on with your members? So I am going to begin the poll. So this should show up on your screen. We've got 3 questions. So I'm going to launch it right now. And are you seeing that poll, Rachel? Okay, great. All right, so we're going to start with the question, have you received your vaccine yet? So there might be any number of options there. So if you could let us know where you are in this vaccination process personally. And then the second question is the vaccine a primary topic of discussion in your group right now? Just like I had mentioned, the 3 groups I'm involved with, we're talking about that every week for the last several weeks. And then finally, do you think the vaccine will allow your group to meet in person this year? All right, so we have about half of the people who've put in their answers. Good job, everybody. All right, and they're continuing to come in. Great. And maybe if some of you are on an iPad or some other device, it might be trickier to put in your answers. So I'm going to go ahead and end the poll. We have almost everybody participating, and then I believe I can share the results with you right now. So let's take a look at that. So looks like slight majority have gotten their first dose only, which is great news. And 2 people have gotten both, so good on you. Excellent. We like to hear that. And then not yet, waiting on an appointment. So I guess that could mean either you have an appointment, it's just in the near future, or maybe you haven't heard yet about when you can get in. So I know in my community, people who've been worried about not getting their appointments, they're starting to actually get scheduled. So hopefully that's the case across the country. I probably depends on what city you're in. And let's go to the second question. Yes, a lot of groups look to be talking about the vaccine in their group meetings. And then some are like, nope, not really. Oh, that's interesting to me. That it's not discussed in 5 of your groups. Let's see. And then the final question, do you think the vaccine will allow your group to meet in person? So I think a lot of people are a little on the fence, and that's understandable. I think it's good to be cautious. Thank you for um, answering those questions. And I thought I might ask a couple of follow-up questions, and you're welcome to unmute yourself. Anyone out there, are you finding that your group members are having like trouble getting appointments? Is anyone having a lot of trouble in your area? And Karen, you can unmute yourself.
Even though New Mexico is leading the nation in vaccinations, it's still really hard for people to, although they're registered with the state for the vaccine, it's still hard to get that appointment. And a lot of our folks are older, in their 70s and 80s. So they mentioned how they're just still waiting.
Wow. I know Karen, because Karen and I live in the same city here in Santa Fe, so she and I know each other on a personal level. Um, and so I believe that you had helped to distribute a hotline number
Right.
to your group members. And that was something that Allie as well, who's in White Rock, New Mexico, so she's nearby, and she also distributed that hotline, which was
Yeah.
a way for people to get on the phone and hopefully reach a human being instead of having this difficult platform that they're trying to navigate online. Have we found in various communities that the hotline is helpful?
The hotline has helped a few folks. Um, I'm also sending out information as I get it of other places, other locations that are offering the vaccine, Sam's Club, some of the pharmacies. And also the state has a rollout of the vaccine at our local high school. And some folks have found that by going towards the end of that, around 2:30 in the afternoon, any leftover doses, they're just handing out. So I've had some folks get vaccinated that way by going and waiting in line to see if there's leftover vaccine, when they're done with the appointments.
Wow. And are they in the 1A, 1B categories, those folks
Yeah,
going in?
yeah.
Okay. I see. Very interesting. Thanks, Karen.
Uh-huh.
Is any
Shannon,
Yes, who's speaking? I can't see who you are.
hi, it's Debbie Comer from Rancho Palos Verdes. In LA
Hi.
County, it has just been announced they will, as of today, this is the last round of first vaccines. They only have enough supply for the second round for the rest of the week. So we can't even make an appointment.
Oh, goodness. And did you say you're in LA County?
Yes,
Okay. Wow. Yeah, I hear California is having a harder time, maybe.
it's very difficult. And, walking with some friends at 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon, there were a lot of parties going on, which is like a super spreader event.
Oh, yes, that's disheartening, isn't it? When we're just really trying to make progress, and we see people who just aren't taking those precautions. Wow, we have to keep ourselves safe, right? Judy, I see your hand up. Please unmute yourself.
My friend Jane, who also has Parkinson's, by the way, has been trying to schedule her second appointment, and she can't get an appointment set up. And like she goes, the website is so bad. The calendar comes up, and it looks like you have an appointment, and then when you look back, it hasn't made the appointment. So she's getting panicky because she's about due for the 3 weeks for her second shot, and she can't seem to get it to work. And then I have two neighbors that are under 75, and they've been trying. Of course, we've got a hold on those people altogether now. Her husband actually went in and thought he had an appointment. It came back and confirmed it. And when he went to the site, they wouldn't give it to him because it didn't register there somehow. So they sent him away without even giving him a shot. So it's been a mess here too. The website's the problem. Once people get the shot, it's running great. But
once you're there, usually, yeah.
Getting that confirmation that you're registered is really, I was lucky, mine worked, but it took me a couple of hours, but I get my second shot on Wednesday.
Yay.
Good for you, Judy. Nice.
Way to go.
Yeah.
Yes. Great.
That's bad.
Yeah. Wow. It's so different in each community. So just really trying to stick to it, I think, and talk to your friends and see how they're going about things, because it's really word of mouth, it feels like. I know I have friends in Santa Fe here who are under 75. They heard that they could drive to Amarillo, Texas. They drove and got their vaccine and then drove back in the same day. It's just crazy. It really is. I see Jay Euchre, you have your hand raised if you'd like to unmute yourself. Let's try that again. Can you unmute yourself there?
You had it for a second.
I think
There we go.
Did I make it?
Yeah.
Hear you.
Right. No, I just thought I'd throw one comment in. I by the way, I'm on my phone, so I can't control things too well. But I'm in South Carolina, actually in the Myrtle Beach area, which is full of retirees and therefore full of people who are in this state eligible for vaccines, because it's it was 70 and they just cut it to 65. But my personal experience is that if you're skilled with the internet, when they opened it up here, I was able to register my wife and myself immediately, and immediately got emails back confirming it, and then follow-up emails, updates, and they called. And I don't understand this business about not being able to get a second dose, because here, when you sign up, when you go through the whole process, you are scheduled for the second dose at the same time. We did not have to. I mean, our second dose is a week from today. That was scheduled for us
the first
dose. That's it.
That would be so much more.
Yeah, I'm not sure why they aren't doing that everywhere else.
Yeah, that seems so obvious. Judy.
Yeah, when I first registered, that was how it worked here. But now when you get your first shot, they automatically schedule your second. But they weren't doing that until about last week sometime. So I had to actually call and schedule it myself. But now they automatically do it when you get your first. So it's getting better. It's just,
Absolutely. We're getting a couple of comments here and there, and just about being tech savvy. And so perhaps with some of your group members who aren't as comfortable with their computers, is to recommend that they have someone in their family help them out, someone who is more comfortable online, and just not to give up, just to really keep pushing and employ the help of others who they know. I see Betsy has raised your hand if you'd like to unmute yourself, Betsy.
Hi, yes, I'm also on my phone and in a car. So I'm not driving. I'm from Minnesota. And I don't know that anyone else is called in from there. But the second vaccine is being scheduled when you go in for your first vaccine. But the rollout here is very slow. They did a lottery system, but that sounds like maybe it's kind of been abandoned. And now healthcare providers are reaching out to their folks if they have the vaccine and it's for people 80 and over. The people that seem to be really having the problem are those with pre-existing conditions that are under 80. They sound like they're really having a dickens of a time getting scheduled. That's kind of come to light. So I've got a couple of people that I spoke with this weekend that are going to try to call the state today and see if they can somehow get pushed ahead. I know one person that's a caregiver that worked for, who's under 80, but she's living and caring for, living with and caring for her mother. So there are some exceptions being made here, but it's very difficult. It sounds like if you are kind of under 80 and have pre-existing conditions or other exceptional reasons.
I see. And so if you have a pre-existing condition that's, that's your state or your community is accepting, then how is it that people need to prove it? Do they have to have a doctor's note, or how do they actually go about doing that?
Well, if you're still asking me, I guess the one that I know of, the caregiver, they just took their word for it.
Okay. That's interesting. And maybe that's why it's harder for them, because there's not an official process. It's just, yes, it's very complicated, all of this. So I'm just hoping that we all can get through this. Yes, I see Myra.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi, I just wanted to mention something I found out yesterday. One of the people in my group, her husband has difficulty moving around and everything. And we had snow last week when they were going to get their test, and for him to get out of the house and into the car and then they had to wait in line because there were more people, because they had the people from the day before when the snow was. He was just a mess, and he's Lewy body. So
Yeah.
it was awful. So she was trying to figure out what to do. I spoke to a friend of mine who's a nurse, and she said, wait a minute, someone will come out to your car and give the shot. Just so for her second one, I said, let's try it. I'll go down with you. So you go in, take the paperwork in, tell him he's outside. I'll be there. If they do it, it'll be wonderful, and that'll be over. But it'll be a chance. Otherwise, we'll have to try another way. But he was just a mess. They had to have 2 guards walk him, get him out to get back into the car. And he was just a mess when he got home. So bottom line, if there's anybody like that, ask there if someone will go out and give a shot in the car. It'll cut out a lot of that. So I would never have thought of it if she didn't bring it up.
Right.
I mean, she works, and she said, they had 4 people one day go out and do that, and then they'll go back out periodically to see how he is in the car for the 15 minutes after and all. But use that, because otherwise, you're going to have more problems. You could have falls, you could have whatever.
Exactly. But Myra, I just wanted to emphasize the point that you volunteered your assistance with that so that he wouldn't be left in the car alone. That's what it sounds like, right?
Yeah,
So
I'm going to go down with him.
Keep that in mind. And sometimes that's hard, when you don't want to bring 2 households together in the same car.
Right. Both of us have been like, we haven't done anything, So
yeah. Well,
I'm just feel I'll do this.
Thank you for that. Yeah. So that's good. That's good advice. Karen.
I don't know if this is, it's a theory I have. It's a theory I have right now, but a week or 2 after Rob got his first vaccination, his Parkinson's symptoms were exacerbated horribly, where he could hardly walk. And I thought, I never even put it to the vaccine. I just thought he was having some off days, which typically he doesn't have 3, 4 in a row. He'll have 1 and then we're back to the normal. Then yesterday I was talking with a Parkinson's person in our group. She had just had her vaccine the week before, and her Parkinson's symptoms were horribly exacerbated. And so we know that COVID exacerbates the symptoms. So I don't know if it's related to the vaccine. I'm just throwing it out there. I don't know if anybody else has had that kind of a response, but I just thought it was curious that now two people that I know of within, a short time of having it have had within a week or two of having it have had their symptoms exacerbate. Now, like today, he's fine again.
Oh, good.
That's good to hear, that he's recovered from that. So
Yeah.
very curious. And I see Lauren in California. She said that she's also heard the same thing. 24 to 48 hours afterwards, symptoms are worse for people with Parkinson's. I'm wondering too if it's, while it could be the vaccine itself, but also the stress involved and just, the anxiety of what is going to happen. And, we are familiar with how that affects symptoms. So it's probably a snowball situation. But yeah, that's interesting to know. And then we'll hear from Jerry, and then we're going to move on to the next part of our roundtable, which is our breakout rooms, and we're going to be talking about a couple of other topics. So, Jerry, looks like you've unmuted yourself.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I'm a member of several groups. I'm the head of our university retirement system as well as the Parkinson's group, and a couple of other groups that had I had access to listservs, mail list, email list. In Montana, what they did is they started with 80-year-olds and above, and then they moved down every 5 years. And of course, they only had a finite amount of vaccines, so it was a case of who got there first to sign up, And I wanted to alert the people that I knew, and so I sent out emails to every one of those lists, explaining the situation and get on it right away, and get registered. And about 8 or 9 people, I think, thanked me personally because they got the and a lot of them are not very computer savvy, but they're pretty good at email. So the email is, so if anybody in the support groups has access to email list, and then they have it, find information, just send it out, broadcast it, because a lot of people just they didn't check the websites, which are public health websites. And once we got the appointment, they had the vaccine, and then they signed us up for the second shot. So the problem was just getting on the list the first time.
Sure. Yeah, that's a good point, Jerry. Thank you for mentioning that. And just what role that you all can play as support group leaders in helping to spread the word, the information that is accurate, most up to date. If you get your hands on that, you can forward it along and really help people out. So thank you for that, Jerry. Okay, great. All right. Thanks, everyone, for your input.
I just wanted to add, this is serious business because on our university retirees, we've lost 4 people already to COVID, just on our group, one university retirement group. So this is serious business. You want to notify people as soon as you can.
Exactly. It's a time-sensitive thing. Absolutely. Okay. Thank you, Jerry. All right. I am going to share my screen with you again, and we can discuss what we have in store for us next. Okay, so breakout rooms, probably most of you have been in ones as of now, so we're going to be doing that again. I really like the way that it encourages more participation and everyone getting their voice heard. So we have found that 4 to 5 people in a room is a good amount. So today we're going to try to keep it to that. If you have updated your Zoom application recently, you're going to be able to self-select your room. So I will explain that in a moment, but we're going to try to keep the rooms to 4 to 5 people. So when you start self-selecting, just keep an eye on how many people are already in there, and then you can add yourself if there's space for 4 to 5 people. And then there are going to be several, probably 3 rooms per topic. So I'll again explain that in a second. So 2 topics to choose from today, which I'll mention on the next slides. You're going to pick the breakout topic that you prefer and just spread yourselves out accordingly. So once everyone arrives into your breakout room, you're going to be sent there automatically by me. Please designate one person to take notes. And so that person can help facilitate the sharing in the group. I think we'll have about 15 minutes total. So if we have 5-ish people, that's about 3 minutes per person. And then once we come back to the larger group, then you will share with everyone, and I will take notes. And then those notes that I take, I will then email out to everyone after the fact. So during the session, I just spoke about this, the timing. I'm going to give you a halfway notice. So at about 7 or 8 minutes, I'll let you know you're halfway through. And so you can monitor yourselves. And then you're going to get a 30-second warning before you're brought back to the main group. And so the small group leaders will share back about 3 minutes per group. We'll see how that goes and how we're looking on time. So we have about an hour from now to the end. So we have a good amount of time, I think. Okay. Let's see here. So then this slide is topic number 1. Okay, so what are your main goals for your group this coming year? Another prompt could be, what did you learn last year in 2020 that will inform how you plan to support your group moving forward? Okay, so these are just options. You know, you don't have to answer both, just prompts for you to start thinking in the direction of where you want your group to go this year. Okay. And then topic number 2 is going to be more about the meeting content. All right, so what kind of meeting content is most crucial to your group members right now? So what do you think you might emphasize most in your group meetings? Do you want to concentrate more on information and education? Or do you want to concentrate on support and connection? And then why? Okay, so again, these are just prompts and you can let the discussion go where it will. I am going right now to copy and paste the 2 questions, or the 2 prompts rather, into the chat. So the chat, if I do that before we break out, everyone will still have that in your personal chat. And so you can refer to that while you're in your groups. All right. So did you see that come through on your chat, everyone?
Yes.
Just to make sure? Yes, perfect. All righty. So I am going to stop my screen share. And I am going to begin putting the breakout rooms together. So I know Karen and I had spoken earlier today about a little announcement that she wanted to make to the group. So I think this is a good time for her to do that while I'm busy doing the breakout room thing. So go right ahead there, Karen.
Okay. I just wanted to let everyone know that my husband has a CD out that he is donating all the proceeds from to the PMD Alliance. And the CD can be found on Amazon. And if you just put in the name Rob, R-O-B, Bartoletti, B-A-R-T-E-L-E-T-T-I, and it will bring you to his music that he has there on Amazon. And it's the Tremors CD that is the one that's going to have all of the proceeds go to the PMD Alliance. He originally put this out, back in 2012, I believe, as Shaker's Sessions. And it's a group of Northwest musicians who volunteered their time to perform on the CD for Rob. And at that time, the CD proceeds were going to the Brian Grant Foundation. And his CD raised $54,000 for the Brian Grant Foundation.
Wow.
So now he is redistributing the CD under his new name, Tremors, and that the CD proceeds will all be going to the PMD Alliance. So yeah, it's all songs he's written, but it's performed by other artists. I think he sings one song on there. So I hope you'll join us in helping to raise money for the Alliance. And BARTELETTI, two T's at the end. Very good.
I've just put the link of the Amazon site that you can get the music on chat. So you guys can just click on that link easily.
Yeah.
Thank you,
And
Karen.
if you go through smile.amazon.com and you have the Alliance as your charity of choice, it'll be a double donation to the Alliance.
I love that. That's very
yeah.
smart.
Yeah. So be sure and use the smile.amazon.com and have the Alliance in there as your charity of choice. Then every purchase that you make on Amazon, a portion of it goes to the Alliance. Yeah.
Thank you,
So I
Karen.
just wanted to let you know that.
Yeah, that's exciting. Thank you so much. And I've personally heard Rob's music, and I just have to say it's very uplifting. So please check it out. And thanks, Karen, for thinking of PMD Alliance with that. Phil,
Phil is asking how much.
how much? And you're muted, Karen.
Gosh, I don't remember. I'm going to say, I'm going to just throw this out there. I think maybe $12, but I just don't remember offhand what it was. Yeah.
Worth every penny. Yes. Excellent. Okay. Thank you, Karen. I appreciate that announcement. Something positive going on. It's been a while since I've done the self-select breakout room. So what I've done is I've created 3 rooms for each topic. So I have 3 rooms for goals and I have 3 rooms for meeting content. Okay. So this is when I say open all rooms, you should then get an option for breakout rooms at the bottom of your screen. So let's give that a try. Keep fingers crossed. All right, so you've been invited to join a breakout room. Again, your Zoom application needs to be updated to a certain point in order for you to do this. Please let me know if you are unable to accomplish this and I can physically or manually do it myself. Did I see Lauren's hand? You are muted, so just let me know where you want to go.
I'm not getting any prompt, Shannon, for a breakout room, so I'm assuming I can't do it. I'm not
Okay.
updated.
But I'm in the same situation.
Okay, so I'll do one at a time. So let me find you, Lauren. Let's see. And do you have a choice of goals or content?
Content.
Okay. All righty, good. And then I heard another person.
Jenny in Orange, Virginia.
Jenny. Oh, hi, Jenny. And do you have a preference?
I think the content.
Okay. Judy.
Yeah, I don't have a choice. I mean, there's nothing coming up.
Okay. Which one would you like?
Content.
Okay.
Elizabeth from Cincinnati was raising her hand earlier.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which one would you like, goals or content?
Content, please.
I'm sorry?
Content, please.
Okay. Great. Thank you.
Shannon, I'm still not in the room. It's Lauren.
Let's see. Lauren. Did you say content? I'm sorry, I can't remember.
I did. If there's still room. If not, I'll go in the other one. It's fine.
There is. Let me try again. Okay.
It looks like I can try to assign too.
Oh, great. Okay, good.
So
Yes, I saw some.
AC, your hand is raised. Where would you like to go?
Content.
Content, okay.
Cecily?
Content, please.
Okay.
And
Alrighty.
Jeff?
Peggy?
Jerry?
Content.
Okay.
Peggy?
Let's see. Peggy?
Content?
Okay.
Thank you.
And then now we're all full of content. I hope others are. We can, actually, one of the groups, the goals groups it has no one in it. So we might be able to just make that a content group.
Oh, you're so
Yeah. Does that sound good? David,
Yes.
like that? So
Perfect.
the third goals, Rachel, is
Yeah.
going to be content.
Shannon,
So
I had
how
to,
will we,
I'm sorry, I heard a couple of people at the same time.
Shannon, can I go to content, please?
Yes,
you.
absolutely.
so put them in the third goals room.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. Awesome.
Irene from Sacramento, are you wanting goals or content?
Content.
Okay.
Gila, hi.
Hi, content.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Gail from Nashville,
If there's room, I'd like content, please.
okay.
Thank you.
Cecily, looks like you're still here for some reason. I thought I put you somewhere.
Looks like she's
Yeah, I
on-
thought you put me in content.
Weird. I don't see you as unassigned.
She moved to.
Oh, not joined.
Yeah, for some
try-
reason it says you're not joined in that room.
Let's see. I'm going to try again. Well, interesting.
And out, Myra, did you say where you were wanting to go? Wherever? I'm gonna put you in goals, okay? Thanks.
Allie, sorry for the wait.
That's okay. I was partially in a group, but I couldn't, it was only one small window with one person and I couldn't even unmute myself. And it was in one of the content groups. It was either the second or third. I had to come back in.
Okay, no problem. Let's see if we can figure this out.
I don't know if I'm still signed up in that group or after I
No, it
left.
looks like you're still unassigned,
Yeah.
but there's no room now in the content rooms.
Yeah.
Well,
Let's
just stick
see
me
here.
wherever. I'll
You okay with goals?
yeah, if that's where you have space, I'll put me there.
And then
All
just,
right.
you can also, goals of what you want to meet about. Just make it work for you,
All right.
Okay. So
Cecily still looks like she's getting to a room.
Yeah,
And
you're
then
like roaming there.
Betsy, I'm not sure if Betsy's there.
If you can unmute yourself, Betsy, you can let us know.
Well,
we can
goals are goals.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put her in goals. Okay, and now we've just got Cecily. Although now it says Betsy's in goals, but not joined.
I think they manually have to click on something that says
Yeah, I haven't seen anything to click on. I just see you.
It could be the iPad thing.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm just gonna have to.
Can we put you
in group number 1 that's considered goals, where Allie just went? You can still talk about content.
Okay.
I think we're just gonna have to make that work. So is that okay with you?
Yes.
Put you into group number 1 then.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll see you in a bit. Okay, I'm pause.
Welcome back, everyone. We made it. Whew. I always get nervous right there. Just right there at that moment.
Looks like everyone's made their way back.
Yes, welcome back. Okay, so we have a lot of sharing to do, so I'd love to jump right into this. I am going to share my PowerPoint slide that I'm going to be updating with notes in the moment as we go from group to group and share. So I'm hoping we have, let's see, we have about half an hour left. We have 6 groups to share. And so what I'm hoping is like 3 minutes per group of sharing back to me, and then we'll have enough time to wrap up at the end. So that's the goal. Let's see here. So Rachel, can you see my slide? Okay, great. All right, so let's go ahead and start with the first group, which was going to be talking about goals, and it has, well, actually it's a mixed group. I had to put people who wanted meeting content in with people with goals, so it's just going to be free form, fluid. Allie and Cecily were in this group. If someone could unmute themselves, let me know who your group leader was. We can get started.
Hi, this is Judy, and yeah, I'm the group leader.
Great, thanks, Judy.
Okay. We had an interesting discussion. You pulled us out of it.
Sorry. I know it's never enough time, is it?
Yeah, we were all like inspiring each other, I think. The consensus, I think, is that we're trying to get more people to join us, which has been the problem from day one.
Okay.
There was a concern about people being not being able to connect in person and being isolated. So I think we all kind of agreed, even when we come back to meeting in person, we'd like to continue with some kind of a Zoom connection.
Okay.
For people who are housebound or out of state or whatever. Wanting to meet in person and trying to figure out how to do that safely. Cicely was saying that they have speakers and I think she was the one, they'd like to be able to continue to have speakers, maybe have a Zoom speaker and then joining the meeting in person, the in-person meetings. So, like you guys have your webinars, have a speaker on Zoom and then have that speaker speak to our in-person meetings.
Okay, so maybe someone who's not necessarily local, but someone who can Zoom in. The group is meeting in person, and then they're watching someone. Okay.
We might like to try to. I think the thing that I learned was most of us want to keep some form of Zoom even when we can get back in person.
Mm-hmm.
There was a talk about separating the groups out. So one of the women was saying that she has a license from PMD Alliance to have every Friday at 10, but she only meets on one of those Fridays, her group. So they have separated it out where she now meets on another Friday with just caregivers. So she's kind of set up breakout groups kind of for more, instead of just having everybody on one Zoom meeting, she's got one for caregivers. And we were talking about maybe we could have one for singles or one for young onset and maybe spread out the Zoom meetings that way.
Great idea.
I think that's about it. Most of us talked about wanting to have some combination of in-person and online when we come back together. And I think we all pretty much agreed that even in person, we're still going to have some safety measures in place, like masks and 6 feet separation, at least for a while.
Right.
So did I miss anything, ladies? I don't think
Yes,
so.
Cecily, Charlene, Edna, and Judy, and Ellie. Anyone else have anything to add? This is a great.
Judy did a great job of putting things together there. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. I tried to make notes.
She had her pen and paper. Thanks, everyone. Great. Good group. Okay, next group was also supposed to talk about goals. We have Art, Betsy, Jay Euchre, Myra, and someone just popped out. So who is the leader for that second group, please? Myra. I can't see
Hi
it.
there. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Hi there, Art.
Well, I lost my screen. I can't see you. So that's probably, that's.
Are you on a computer?
Yeah.
If you scroll to the bottom of your screen, you might have a menu of your different apps. Look for the Zoom icon, which is a blue background and a white video button. And if you click on that, then your Zoom window should come forward.
It did. Okay. Oh, there we go. And there's, I see your screen. Well, I'll tell you what, let me speak and I'll sort out the thing later at this point. So, okay. So now that I've messed up everything, anyway, removing, one of the issues was removing the fear of Zoom, so that people will feel relaxed with using it. And we know that PMD has PMD Alliance has a tutorial, and that Shannon has put that together, and that's very good. One of the other issues was hopefully groups will be able to take and start meeting again in groups, and they'll be able to rebuild the group once they start meeting in person. They wanted, another issue was developing programs. There seems to be an over plethaurization of physical, of pharmacy and DBS programs, and they wanted to take and expand it. Ophthalmology, physical therapy. There was this voice vibe. I remember I watched a presentation on that, and there was art therapy. And then some of the people, unfortunately, have lack of internet access, and that's a real problem. And then one of the people mentioned that she had to take and reach out, try to reach out with mail, and so forth. So there was a lot of issues there, and hopefully I added a few things. So I think I got most of it. Okay.
Yes, that was great, Art. Thank you. I'm typing away over here. Great. Thank you so much. So that was group 2. And if anyone has anything to add, you may do so. If not, we can move on to the third group. Okay, great. Let's do David Cox's group, Debbie, Gail, Irene, and Tehila. Someone could
Hi,
unmute.
Shannon, it's Debbie Comer.
Hi there.
Hi. So we talked about content, and we talked about hospitalization and getting medications on a timely basis for our Parkinson's people. Gail in Nashville brought up having a contractor come in and, discussing safety in the home, what things we could make improvements on.
Great. Yes. And there are ADA, I'm sure there's a specialty programs and experts who know all about those things.
And she's also bringing in a medical equipment company for assessments and stuff like that. And then the other thing we discussed about was Tilia had she talks about spouses who have Parkinson's, an emotional support group. We kind of went into having that as a conversation. And that goes back to hearing, somebody else saying a support group for caregivers, spouses.
And maybe having them either break out separately from the main group or just meeting entirely on a different day, different time. Is that what she's talking about there?
Absolutely. And, in my situation, I didn't have any support. And I explained that to the group because we have nothing here in Southern California for spousal support.
Okay. So care partner specific.
Yeah.
Interesting. Wow. And then your group, Debbie, can you remind me, is it a general group that you're working with?
Yes.
Yes, okay, okay. Yeah, so I guess it's just good to remember. I know of a lot of groups that will meet as a larger general group, and then they break out into, people with the movement disorder versus family, care partners, adult children, that sort of thing. So they have kind of the best of both worlds all in one meeting. But then that's a little strange sometimes online. If two people are in the same house using the same computer, that's not going to work. So maybe having a meeting on a different day would make the most sense. So,
Yes.
Yeah, great. Okay, was there anything else to add to that, Debbie?
I think I got everything.
Great, thank you. Really appreciate it. All right, moving to group number 4, please. We have Chelsea, Jenny, Jerry, Karen, and Sarah.
So I was leading that group, and we were talking on content needed now and whether we're doing more education or more of a connection. And most of us agreed that both are kind of important, both the education piece, but also people just love that they miss that connection that they used to have when we met in person. And this is like the second best thing, I guess, meeting on Zoom is at least a way to be able to connect with each other. As far as content went, we've been getting speakers and on educational things. Exercise cognition came up several times. Alternative therapies. Chelsea does a series once a month, is on a series of topics. So it might be alternative therapies is that topic for that month. Some groups only meet once a month. My group in Santa Fe meets weekly. And then besides that weekly group, I also have a once a month Care Partners only support group on Zoom. And that gives care partners the opportunity, usually just to talk about what they're experiencing and what their any questions that they may have, and we share as a group. We typically don't have a lot of speakers for that group. It's more of an opportunity to just share, be with each other, offer support, offer suggestions. Some of the topics that we've seen, as Sarah said, where people are lonely right now and really feeling isolated. So topics that deal with that. I know in our group here in Santa Fe, we've had one of our topics recently was living alone with PD, and how to keep yourself safe, how to keep yourself engaged. And one of the things that came out of that was AARP has a home fit guide that tells you how to make your home safe when you're living alone, or any type of a senior living, living in their home, how to make your home safe. But most of it was just around really topics that are pertinent to what's going on right now. Vaccines been, up there a lot. Making sure you're getting exercise. Those kinds of continuing on topics that we've always done, but continue on. But now we're faced more with this loneliness and connection and the need to connect. And cognition, I think, too, has been a consistent topic.
I see. And maybe that's a result of more isolation.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah. That's great. Thank you for those ideas. And I just wanted to point out, you mentioned that you meet with your general group once a week now, and
Yes.
your care partners once a month. So the 3 support groups I work with every week, we're meeting weekly, and I have seen so much more consistency, connection happening amongst people because they just get to know each other better. And you don't have that whole month of time that goes in between, and you really know what's going on with people, and you can, follow up and ask how they're doing about whatever they mentioned last week. And so I would just, for those of us on the call, and you are only meeting weekly, consider meeting more often. Even if it's twice a month, just for the benefit of people having more opportunity to connect. So I would just like to mention that to everyone.
Yeah, our group specifically requested to start meeting weekly because they were feeling so isolated and alone. And we started meeting back in May of last year.
Wow.
I think it was May or June.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And do you feel like, Karen, a heavier burden because you're doing this every week? Is that hard for you?
Well, I don't try to find content for every meeting. I think that's important, is to just let people just visit with each other and share. And I call them roundtable discussions, and I ask people to bring the topic of their concern. So it doesn't fall on me as a burden to constantly try and find a topic. I figure it's their group, they got to contribute too, and that's been very successful because people bring topics that are, that's how we got this being alone with PD topic was, I would probably not have thought of that, but somebody said, that was important to them. And so I got a panel of people who did live alone with PD and asked them to share their experiences.
That's great. I'm glad to.
Yeah. And I always ask at the beginning of the year what topics people want to hear about that I might get a speaker for. And doing a survey like that helps me plan my year.
Okay. What they want. And your survey, is it a written survey? Is it just an email?
It is an email. I just email people and say, what kind of things are you interested in this year? I'm putting my survey together and putting my topics together. So, yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Thanks for that input.
Sure.
Wonderful. Thanks, group 4. All right. We're to group 5, which I believe included AC, Freddie, Kelly, Phil, and Wendy.
Okay, that would be, I'm the group leader for our group. We had a great group. A lot of our discussion was kind of on the type of meetings. All of us kind of had different types of meetings, but all included the aspect of support, education, and encouragement. So some of the challenges, like one gentleman AC is faced with, is he lives in a small rural area with poor internet. So trying to reach out, and they have their groups split up interesting by like more advanced Parkinson's and maybe newer to Parkinson's. And so they've dealt with some challenges of being able to communicate with people because of the internet not always working in their area. They're so rural. We do have Kelly out of Fort Worth that meets with 11 to 1,200 wives of people with Parkinson's weekly.
Wow.
So it's specifically wives of gentlemen that have PD. And so she has speakers and most of the people that we all have speakers that come in and talk on different topics as part of our groups. Also, Phil has something that was really interesting on Sundays. He kind of goes through different articles from PMD Alliance, Michael J. Fox, different groups that have put out information about Parkinson's and movement disorders, and sends those out in an email, letting people kind of have some options. And then they also provide, whenever there's movies out with people that have challenges with Parkinson's or movement disorders, he also lets people be aware of those. And after they have their speakers, they do coffee talk and kind of have that roundtable discussion that way. And so we have people that are also targeting both the person with Parkinson's or a movement disorder and their spouse in their meetings together. And then we have people that have a separate, like I, as well as Kelly, have a separate care partner support groups for those people. So that's we kind of talked a lot about that kind of thing. Some of the content I think that was brought up is some of the care partners or caregivers are growing weary from trying to do so much because COVID has just kept going and going, that we're starting to see that there needs to be a little bit more attention paid to the care partner at this point too, as well as the person with Parkinson's and the challenges they're facing with isolation. Some topics that recently we've dealt with, besides the hospitalization topic as well, that someone mentioned, was also resilience and trying to do things, have special programming for the care partner or the caregiver, so that they can kind of have something a little bit separate, like a 4-week series for them to attend.
Special series. Okay, great. I've run out of room on my right side. So. Alrighty. Thank you so much, Wendy. Yeah, we're hearing some echoing of what we've heard before and also some new ideas. So this is really good. Thank you.
Shannon?
Yes. Hi, Phil.
Hi. I just wanted to add on Wendy, what Wendy had to say. A very small tip was that I found it was successful to increase your attendance. Send out within 24 hours of your support group just a reminder. We have our meeting is tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Look forward to seeing you there, maybe along with the Zoom connection.
So an email with the link, with the Zoom link right there. It's fresh in their minds. It's at the top of their inbox.
It's sort of a thanks for the reminder. But the reason I come to these facilitator workshops is I'm looking for tips and tricks that work, obviously, with other groups. And I'd like to bring it back and improve our own group. So appreciate you putting this on.
Oh, good, good. I'm glad that's helpful. And maybe we can revisit that on a more broad scale, tips and tricks, the next time we have our roundtable. I'm always looking for suggestions as far as what you want and what you want to talk about. So, please let me know. Just trying to make this beneficial for you. So if people agree, we can get back to the more general tips and tricks, more like the roundtable idea that Karen was talking about in her group, where people bring their ideas and from all over the place. They don't have to be specific to a topic. So thank you for that. Great. We have one more group to hear from, and we have Elizabeth, Judy, Lauren, and Peggy in that group. So if you could unmute yourselves, let me know who is your leader.
Hi, Shannon. It's Lauren. I was the leader for our group. We talked a lot about that some of our meetings had been heavy in the information.
Sorry about that. I've done that twice already.
What happened? You put everybody back in breakout rooms?
Is everybody back? And I can explain. I think everyone's back.
So far only 12. We're getting there.
Oh my gosh.
You got put in a breakout room.
Yeah.
That was fun.
I'll have
just wanted to make sure you're on your toes.
This is the technical patience that we like to talk about and remind everyone of every time we have a meeting. So I think everyone's back. And this happened before to me in a roundtable, and I'll tell you why. It is just kind of an FYI if you ever do this kind of thing. Because I have several windows open, I have the breakout rooms window open, and I had to move it so that I could type on my slide. And once I highlighted the breakout rooms, I hit enter to do a new bullet, and then it sent you guys immediately to the breakout rooms. So you can't have the breakout rooms window highlighted and hit enter, or you guys leave. So awesome. Sorry about that. Just, waking everybody up. So sorry for the interruption. I'm going to make sure and not click on that. I'm actually going to exit out. There we go. We're on our last group. So Lauren, let's try that again.
Okay. A lot of our groups that were heavy into the information, education, having speakers and all that, we're finding that there's more of a need right now to have more of the support connection side of things because people are isolated at home and all that. And then a lot of our discussion talked about the size of our groups. Having a speaker works better for when the group is really large, but if you want to do that support connection type thing, it works better with the small groups. So like one of our groups is specific for DBS or specific to women. And you could also do YOPD or newly diagnosed or whatever, that for that support connection type content, that it's better to have smaller groups rather than a large group. But then we have the dilemma that we don't want to close a group and not invite people. So how big is too big for a support group? And maybe the need for breakout rooms might be something that we need to think about to have more intimate groups for more intimate discussion. There was also a concern about when we start meeting back in person. Some of us have long distance members now because it's virtual. So when we meet back in person, what's going to happen to those people? Where are they going to go? Can we do a Zoom portion of our meeting, or, those people might be left without a group. So that's a concern. And similar to what someone had said, sending out a survey is good to find out what your group members are wanting. That was a good idea. And some people were, someone did every other month. So they did 1 month that was like an information education or speaker. And then the next month would be more the supportive connection type Q&A, just discussion group. So just a different way to format your meeting schedule.
Love it.
I think that was about it. Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, I like that flip-flop idea. So you get both in, and it alternates. But even, yeah, if we're doing more meetings per month, you could do one of each per month,
I think that's a good idea.
Great. I'm going to take just a second. I think I've been getting some chats and I haven't been able to see them, so I just don't want to miss anything. So Sarah, I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a moment so I can see your faces. And I know Sarah in Las Cruces, she had a question and I'm not quite sure. She's asking about Zoom versus in person. Can you unmute yourself, please? Let's see, Sarah, where are you?
There we go. No, I'm just curious. I have a board, myself and 9 other people, and I'm pretty much running the whole show right now. And I was just wondering how many other support group leaders are running the whole show by themselves, running the Zoom meetings and, keeping things together, keeping the group going.
Just put your hand up next to your face and wave it like this so we can get kind of a sense of who's doing it alone. Yeah, that's a lot. We like to talk about sharing the responsibility, having a backup person, so all that weight isn't on your shoulders. So maybe that's a good goal for 2021, is trying to employ someone or 2 or 3 people to help you. Yes, Karen.
I have a person, Richard, who takes over meetings when I need him to, and he's volunteered to do that because I knew from the beginning that it's not a good idea to have everything on me. So he has a complete email list like I have. He has, in fact, last week he ran the meeting because I had to be at another meeting. So it's always nice to have a backup person.
Great. Thank you, Karen. Betsy, I see your hand is raised, and then we'll have to move to our last slide to wrap up our meeting for today. Yes, Betsy.
Yes, I have a co-facilitator, but she also works in healthcare. And so since COVID started, I have taken it by myself. So it's been about a year now. But I would encourage co-facilitators. It works well for us. I'm retired. I like to travel. She works and has meetings that come up, and it's just a good balance. And so I can sympathize with those people that carry all of it on their own. And then I've also walked the road of sharing it with people too. So I'd advocate for sharing if you can. Yeah, you need that backup.
Yes, yes. And you have to think about succession planning. You know, if you win the lottery and move to Mexico, what's going to happen to the group, that sort of thing. So,
Yeah.
yes, just always keeping that in mind. Okay, I'm going to share my last slide with you. I just have a few last important things to let you know about. So PMD Alliance is partnering with a project that was begun in the UK called the Northumbria Care Needs Project, and they have been surveying care partners. And so we are representing the United States, and so we're trying to get the word out about this survey. So I have it here. What I plan to do is to send this link to you in the follow-up email. And what we're hoping is that you would be willing to forward that survey to your groups, okay? And the purpose here is to understand the impact that COVID-19 is having on care partners and to see if their role has changed over the past few months and how they could be supported better. So that's the point of this, and we're really trying to get more participation. So please do help with that if you can. We have another event coming up on February 22nd, 2 weeks from today. It's still in the works. So Supernus is the new name for the company, US World Meds, and they have Apokyn. So that is the injectable medication. I don't know a whole lot about it myself. So what we're trying to do is to provide a little bit more connection with some representatives from these companies to do more Q&A with you as support group leaders, so that if you have specific questions yourself, or if your group members, you find that they have needs, things like that, what we're trying to do is bridge that gap. So every other month or so, we're going to have a special event, and I'm sort of like brainstorming of what I want to call it. It's not a roundtable. I don't think it's that. It's more about, prescription talk, or meet the rep kind of situation. So I don't know what that series title will be, but it's going to take place the first one 2 weeks from today. So just to know about that. And then, just always feel free to contact me with any ideas or feedback. I'll look into that tips and tricks for our next roundtable. And then once again, thank you so much for participating today. I really appreciate your input and sharing with one another. Yes, and I see a note from Phil. It's hard to read, but I can't quite read that. Can you see, Rachel?
Celebrate life.
Celebrate
Is that
life.
what it says? Yeah.
Yes. Signing off on a positive note, right? Yes, excellent. Thank you. So yes, Lauderdale, Mexico. I might go south of the border. My money might go further, but and Little Beach wouldn't be too bad right now. So thank you all. Please stay safe out there. And thanks for all you do for your communities. And we'll see you hopefully in 2 weeks at the Supernus Get to Know the Rep event. And be in touch with me, please. Okay. All right,
care, everybody.
Thank you so much. I'll send a follow-up email with all the notes. Okay?
Have a great week.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.